You the big name in the house and shit. What you got going on, bro?
No, you know what, man? I'm just trying to I'm trying to stay inspired, man. Like it's the clubs is where it's at. Like right before we ran into you, we just getting some games. Shout out to Ruben.
Shout out Ruben Paul.
Ruben Paul just gave us just some gems. That's why it's always good to talk to the vets, man, because they just have the information for progress.
They seen it.
They know what's going on. They seen it. They lived it. So I just try to stay in the clubs. And then again, you get inspired in different ways. Some different tags are just you got to keep like stand up is like the clubs are gonna be there and material you're gonna have in your book and your phone. But sometimes it's not always about getting on stage. Sometimes just the camaraderie and just knowing, okay, the fact that he just came out on the fly, let me know he's still staying focused because I didn't know he's gonna be. I didn't call nobody.
Yeah.
And then run into the cast and it's just the politicking of stand up that keeps you also in the mental space of your funny. I think sometimes it's more than just jokes on stage.
So let me ask you this, because most people going to know you more from TV, but comedy is your first love, or acting.
Well,
How
you know what?
Explain
I think that they kind of work hand in hand, and in the sense that, like, if most of us really look back at some point, like I wasn't a class clown per se, but our funny has always been there. I could have been a mechanic and still would have had something comedic to say, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it started off, I guess, with theater, if you want to go there, and then as far as professionally, theater and then stand up, but then the acting's still there too, so they kind of work hand in hand for what I do. Fortunately, I can kind of,
Are you from here? LA?
I'm from here.
Okay. So you started doing stand up like how early? Like soon as you got out of school, high school, college? Like when did you say, yo, I'm gonna tell a joke?
My first time like telling some sort of joke was like 99.
Really?
Damn.
That was my first time like just attempting.
Damn.
I used to work at the LA Times newspaper and I was selling.
Shut up, Lon. Me
Yeah.
too, bro. In Rancho Dominguez?
Yeah.
Bro, that's my you know
Wait.
this is crazy. Me and Lon from LA. I used to work at the LA Times newspaper, bro.
When did you
It's in Rancho Dominguez. This is in 2000, 2001, and that was my first time ever doing stand-up at the job. They had like a little talent show, and I did like 3 minutes, and I talked about the supervisor. They got me the fuck off the stage. Off the floor. Whatever.
Hilarious.
On the sales floor?
Yes. It was a call center, bro. They had 2 different rooms.
I'm out of here. I'm about to leave.
That's crazy.
I'm about to.
And you know how long I've been knowing London? We've never had this conversation, bro.
Never.
I did not know you worked at the LA Times.
So the call. Okay. So yeah, we used to work at the LA Times newspaper.
Okay.
This was a minimum wage of $5.25.
Oh, I remember that, dog. That was my first job, $5.25.
$5.25 minimum wage.
Damn.
So
It was that
I
long?
was on that floor. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm telling you. So I was selling the paper. At the time, my manager was Paul Johnson. Paul Johnson said, "Hey, we doing the talent show." I could have let him verbatim. We're doing the talent show. You should do something for the talent show. See, now I make people laugh on the phone because each paper was sold $12 a paper when I was there.
Okay.
$12
But
a
that's
paper.
during the week. You can sell it every day or you can do it a weekend.
I used to on the weekends if sales or things was low or something.
Yeah.
But I used to do either like an 8 to like 4, 8 to 2 or something like that. Then they had a night shift.
Yep.
So anyway, I'm working there. Christmas or whatever it was, I did a little talent show.
Uh-huh.
Cause I used to do voices on the phone and selling Spanish and English, just trying to sell the paper, whatever, it didn't matter. Then he said, "Man, you ought to come do this restaurant called the Step Up Restaurant. It's now Roscoe's in Inglewood."
Wow.
I do my first. That's like my first like stand on whatever is what's called a stage and do that. But the first person that I recognized on the show, some chick from Def Comedy Jam was on there, and then also was a brother named Cat in the Hat,
Cat in the Hat.
aka Cat Williams.
He was heavy in Inglewood back then. That's
So
funny.
had the Kango hat, cut off shirt, hair down, and just being, working out, I guess. And so I did the spot, and I started. This is when I was obviously much younger. I started roasting on the spot. Man, the restaurant food, blah blah blah. Look at the decorations. And first thing that the vet told me was like, you don't ever want to talk about the place, your establishment, because you need them to call you back. So I didn't know. We talking about high school.
Fair.
We talking about high school. So I'm just like, that's when whatever it is that very popular now, that was my season, that really young, I won't say immature like a clown, but just like, that's when roasting is high school roasting, so all of that. So anyway, that was my start off, and then I stopped when I was school, did some other stuff, and that became, but that's the same startup. That's crazy.
Nigga, you worked at the LA Times. And
Worked
you
at the
did
LA Times.
the talent show at the
Carson
job.
/ Compton
Yeah,
/
Rancho
Rancho.
Dominguez.
Right there.
That's crazy.
That is wild. Y'all both.
I don't even have to tell my story.
Was that your start too though? Like that's the first time you got
when
on.
I first got in front of people and did comedy was at the job at the LA Times.
Shout out to LA Times.
LA Times bringing
Stars.
bringing stars to the fucking.
Wow.
Listen, this is so crazy. I seen you on Ballers like as I didn't even live out here. We was out here for, I don't remember. I might be confusing. I think was you at the Paul Mooney tribute at the Laugh Factory?
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah. So I see him and he's talking to me. I'm like, when you first come out, something like, this nigga a celebrity. Why you just talking to me like we rap? You know what I mean?
Right.
We rapping. I was like, yo, nigga, I hated you on Ballers, dog. Like that's how good of an actor you were. Cause when I just seen you just now, I want to be like, hey, my nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we started rapping. He was like, oh, if you think that's something, wait till you see this raw guy coming out. Stay tuned. I'm like, all right. Next thing you know, he on the Power Universe. And I'm like, oh, I see what he talking about. Because without never seeing the episodes, I would see clips, everybody in the comments like, this nigga more, he's eating all this shit. And he, so you think, I'm like, oh, I get it now and shit, but.
Right.
So here's funny about with London. I didn't know who London was. This is my introduction to London. I'm doing a show at the Comedy Union. Memphis Will put on a showcase, and he got like 20 comics on the show. This is my first time doing a show in LA. At least at the Comedy Union. I'm excited. It's only 3 minutes, but I am thrilled. I brought all my friends out, and I see a dude with a camera. And I'm like, yo, bro, taking pictures? That's a nice guy right there. Let me get a quick little picture real quick while he walking through the room taking pictures. And I'm like, this club got a photographer? This what's up. Then, out of nowhere, I'm outside talking to people outside. And I look back on stage. Everybody laughing, look in the window. The photographer on stage. I was like, damn, cameraman, funny as a motherfucker. Everybody laughing. Bro, I walk back into the rooms. I'm like, yo, that nigga got everybody laughing. So I'm watching his set. I'm like, damn, the cameraman funny? What's going on? LA is too
different.
hard, bro. Like, I'm literally thinking, I'm like, yo, LA different, bro. I didn't know the cameraman was going to be funny. And then he doing his shit, he killing it. And I only went last because they ran out of comics. And like they were like, yo, the show about to end. And Memphis was like, I ain't let him go up yet. And so I just went last, like matter of fact, right?
Fake closed it out.
Yeah. Like, it was like, oh, fine. Let the nigga go up. And I'm like, oh, thank you, Lord. I brought all these people. So I go up to about a 2.5 minute set, but he captured me on stage.
That's
and
dope.
and then at the end of the show, I get up on stage, maybe just to take a picture of me being on stage. I've never been on the Comedy Union stage before.
Yeah.
He's taking a picture of me, and then my girl took a picture of him taking a
of
picture.
you.
And so I'm like, yo, this is a dope picture.
You still got that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, send it
Fast
to
forward,
me,
somebody
nigga.
comments like, you know who that is? And I'm like, the photographer, the funny photographer. Like,
The funny photographer.
That nigga's an actor, nigga. He is bigger. I'm like, oh.
That's funny.
Like, so that always blew my mind about London. I'm like, that nigga was so cool as hell. I had no idea that he was out here like, nigga, this is community service to me. I'm just here to help y'all little niggas have a good day. Like, he was just helping us out, make the show fun, and like
that's dope.
kill dead spots, because he was killing it, obviously. Because we saw a lot of young comics on the show, but like, it's just like, I always look back on it like, damn, man, you never know who the fuck you talking to in LA or who you interacting with. So thank you, by the way, for taking those pictures.
Let me share my London story since we talking about photography.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead.
My son was going to prom, right? So we had the
Hey,
champagne
nigga, how old is
party.
your kids, nigga?
Hold on. He just went to prom last week, 4 years ago. So my son was going to prom, so he had a champagne party.
Yeah.
And my photographer was London Brown. London took all the shots
No way.
of Lil Chris's champagne party, man.
That's like a hobby for you?
Oh, so you still shoot?
That's the shoot.
Oh,
That's
dope.
the shoot. I just
You don't see the way he eyeing his
Multifaceted
cameras?
superstar.
Nigga looking at every
No, that makes sense because he was like, yeah. So he started asking,
You got 2 SD cards? How many SD cards?
you running through this? He's like, yeah.
I mean, too, he got the setup.
Chris Sneed also Very funny comedian. I've been seeing Chris Sneed out. Y'all LA natives, which is crazy to me because I'm like, I moved out here in 2013. So to me, everybody transplants. And then you meet people that didn't move